Hi, welcome to our first vlog.
What's up, guys?
We will try it. At the moment, we are here in Germany, but very close to the King's Casino, which is in the Czech Republic. And yes, it's Saturday morning, or yeah, the the morning for poker players.
Like 2 or 3 p.m. Yeah.
And yes, we arrived yesterday. We played a session, and you will see some hands from yesterday, which I played. And today, Max.
Yeah.
It's Max's turn.
Yeah. I want to try out the vlogging camera for the first time. Yeah. See you.
In my first hand, the life straddle is on. We have one limper, and I decided to open raise Jack 10, 9, 6 double suited up to 50. We got 4 callers, so 5 people on the flop, which is 10-4 deuce. They checked to me, and I decided to check it as well because my hand is pretty vulnerable, and yeah, I don't want to build the pot at the moment. The guy at my left potted to 255 and has 340 total. And yes, it folded to me. And at that moment, I don't have the best situation in the world, but it can't be too bad. I should have enough equity to stick it in. So that's what I did. And yes, unfortunately, he had me dominated with a better flush draw and a better pair. I mean, a pair with a better kicker. That means we are not in a good shape, and the runout isn't in our favor as well. So yes, we lost our first interesting hand. In my second interesting hand, I open raised Ace Jack 10-3 double suited up to 25, and the button player calls, and the small blind squeezes up to 110. Here I have an easy call, I think, and the button calls as well. So 3 raise to the flop, which is pretty favorable. It's Queen 9-8 with a Jack high flush draw for me. And the 3-better checks to me. Here I don't want to trap or do anything else but bet. I decided to bet a little over a third pot. So yeah, I bet 125, only the 3-better calls. So we go heads up to the turn, which is not good. It's the Queen of Hearts, so I have Jack high flush now. But yeah, obviously the board is paired. And he checks to me. Here, I think I have an easy check back, no need to bet. And the river is an offsuit 4. And now he checks again. And here, I think I did a little mistake. I was just too greedy. Yeah, I wanted to search some value where, yeah, I don't think he will pay me off that often with the, yeah, it was like ace queen or whatever. Not sure what I was targeting there. I felt like he has normally the worst hand, and maybe he can catch white because I only bet third pot at the flop and check back the turn, but probably too greedy at that point. So yeah, I bet 350 and he didn't waste any time to before check raising me all in. And yes, I don't even have a pair blocker or whatever, but even if I had one, I think he just always had a full house here. So yeah, I folded at that point, and yes, not happy how I played that hand, but that happens sometimes. In my next hand, we have an open raise up to 20, and the cutoff and button calls. I'm next to act in the small blind, and I look down at King, Queen, Jack, 6 single suited. And yes, I know it's normally too loose to continue with this hand, but I decided to call. Yeah, I wanted to play pots with the guys to my right. Yes, I decided to call it. So does the big blind as well. So 5 ways to the flop, which is Queen 9 6 rainbow. So I have top and bottom with any 10 brings me the straight, and I have a backdoor flush draw. It sounds like the world, but in fact, it's more a mediocre hand, especially multi-way. So yeah, I decided to check it. And the big blind checked as well. The preflop aggressor potted 100. The guys to my right folded. So yeah, I'm next to act. I can't fold my hand. I mean, I think it's just too strong, but I don't want it to raise neither. So SPR was around 7 or something like that. Yeah, I don't want to raise. So I called and wanted to see what develops on the turn. The big blind calls as well. So interesting now. Turn is very good, I think. It's the 3, which brings me a flush draw. And here I thought about leading, but I decided to check because I don't think a lead makes much sense. The big blind checked as well, and the preflop aggressor potted again. And that, yeah, now I don't think I can fold, so I just stick it in. And yeah, the big blind thought a while about it, and he told me he had Queen 9 3, and he folded. So yeah, pretty big fold from him, I think. Yeah, the other one called very quickly, and we are off to the river, which brings me the flush. And it's just the queen high flush, but I tabled it, and it's good. It's good. We win our first pot, and that's good news. After some players limped to me, I open raised ace ace 10 6 single suited up to 35, and I got 4 callers. So off to a flop, which is king 7 4 with the nut flush draw for me, and one player pots 180. And yeah, it folded to me, and some players are still behind me. I don't get the direct pot odds, but there's some money to play for behinds, and I can hit the ace as well. So yeah, I decided to call, but the turn isn't in my favor. It's an offsuit 3. And yes, then he decided to pot it, and here I have an easy fold. I just don't get the pot odds. I let it go, and yes, we are off to the next hand. It limped to me, and I open raised ace ace 5 4 single suited up to 25. We got 3 callers, so 4 ways to the flop, which is Jack 9 deuce with the nut flush draw for me. And the same opponent from last hand pots 100 into us. Pretty similar situation to last hand. I have a straightforward call here and everyone else folds. And now press the like and subscribe button and imagine one card you want to see on the turn. And yes, you're right. It's the magical Ace of Hearts, the best card to come, definitely for me. And as if it wasn't good enough, my opponent pots into me. And yes, at that point, I'm pretty sure he has a set or something like that. I have a straightforward jam, in my opinion. And yes, after jamming, he tanks for a while before ending up to call. Yes, he called, and we are definitely in pretty good shape. So up to a river card, which is pretty clean. It's the 10 of spades, so I make the nut flush. Obviously, I'm good. I have the absolute nuts, and I tabled it, and we win a pretty sizable pot over there. We have an open race up to 20 and 2 callers behind. I'm next jack in the small blind, and I have ace, queen, jack 4 double suited, and I decided to squeeze up to 105 euros. All 3 players calls, so we are off to a flop, which comes down ace, 9, 6 rainbow with 2 backdoor flush draws for me. And now the situation is a little strange. I'm 375 effective against one player, and against the other twos, I'm around 1000 effective. So yeah, pretty difficult to deal with this situation. But yeah, I decided to bet 180 because I don't want to check and give free cuts. But yes, not sure what's best in that situation. And yes, the short stack was 375 jammed all in, and the other 2 players folded. So I have straightforward call here. Yeah, I was fine with running it twice. But yes, unfortunately, none of the boards could improve my hand, but it could improve his rep. So yes, I lost against his trade 2 times.
8 Set hier. Die habe ich Straße.
Beides mal Straße, oder?
Straße hier.
The first day comes to an end. Max lost around 2K and I won around 700.
In this hand, we play 10-10 5-card Omaha, and I am in the big blind and look down at ace, ace, king 8-5, single suited. There are 3 limpers in front of me, and the small blind checks, and I decide to raise full pot to 60. The first limper folds, the 2 other limpers they call, and then the small blind decides to go all in for his 205 euro stack. I go all in. I think that's like the only logical way to play the hand. And then surprisingly, one of the limpers with around 600 euro stack decides to go all in as well. The other limper goes out of the way, and yeah, we have a 3-way pot here. Unfortunately, the guy to my right, the short stack, he makes a set of 4s. I don't know exactly what the other cards were now, but I won against the other player. So yeah, at least I didn't lose. In fact, I won around 200 in the hand. So yeah, that's just quite a standard, I would say, pre-flop all-in spot. In this hand, I look down at ace, ace, queen, 8-7, once again playing 5-card Omaha. And I managed to get it all in pre-flop, once again, against a player with a 500 euro stack and a little bit of dead money. We ran it once, and I actually won this pot. So yeah, that was a successful hand, but yeah, quite the small pot. In this hand, we once again play 5-card Omaha, blinds 5-5, and I look down at the beautiful ace, king, 10, 9, 9. And I open raise under the gun to 20. There are 2 callers, and the next player to act decides to raise to 100. The big blind cold calls the 100. I decide to call, and the 2 other players call as well. So they're already 500 euro in the middle. And the flop comes queen 8-7 with 2 clubs. And this is one of the more instructional moments of the weekend, maybe for me, or of the vlog, because yeah, I've flopped the second nut flush draw and an open-ended straight draw, and my straight draw outs go to the nuts, so that's quite important. But it's only the second nut flush draw, and in case someone does have the nut flush draw, and especially when it goes all in multi-way, then I'm in very bad shape here. And yeah, there you have to be extremely careful in 5-card. And after the big blind checks to me, I had the strong urge to go all in myself and commit myself to the pot, because yeah, it was like one of a few times in the weekend where I actually flopped something really good. I mean, at least it looks great if you flop the second nut flush draw and open-ended. But yeah, then I decided we play 5-card here and we are 5-way. Maybe I should be a little bit more careful, and if multiple players go all in behind me, then in my opinion it's quite a bad spot and I can quite easily fold. However, it folded to the pre-flop aggressor, who went all in for his remaining 500 euros, so just a pot-sized bet. Big blind folds and it's on to me. I have around 800 to 1000 in my stack, and the other 2 players, I believe, have me covered right around. So yeah, then I thought about what the button player's hand would likely be, and of course if he squeezes pre-flop in 5-card, it's aces very, very often. And yeah, if he goes all in 5-way, then most likely he has the nut flush draw to go along with it. Otherwise I mean, if he flops 2 pair or a straight draw, then he might go all in as well. But then there are also 2 players behind me who could also have the nut flush draw still. So yeah, I decided to make a very nitty fold. And actually the 2 players behind me, they both go all in. At this point I was quite happy that I folded. And yeah, in fact, the player directly to my left, he did have the nut flush draw, ace 8, 5 deuce. On one run out he hit his flush, and on the other run out he hit an 8, so trips, and he actually scooped this 3-way pot with ace 8, 5 deuce something. There was a 5th card obviously still in there, I don't remember this one, but yeah, I think quite important there to not just go all in. So I'm glad I folded there on the flop. Instead of playing cash games at Kings, we visited the Bavarian forest. Almost there.
I took a place at 555 card PLO, and yes, my very first hand, the button straddle is on, and there are some limpers before I'm next to act out of the cutoff. I could raise up to 70 with Queen, Queen, Jack, Jack, 6 double suited. And yes, one player jammed all in for 130 total, and another one called those 130, and we have 950 behind. I don't want to rejam my hand because I don't think I have that much of raw equity. And yes, I can play in position. So I just called those 130. That means we go 3 ways to the flop, which is 974 with a flush draw for me. And yes, one player is all in, and we play heads up. But there's no side pot at the moment. He checked to me, and I don't think it's good to bet because, yes, we have no side pot, and I do not have a very strong hand, so I check it back. The turn is another magic card. It's an offsuit queen. So yeah, I turned top set, and I have a backup plan with my flush draw. And yes, good news. My opponent bets 200. And yes, here it's not rocket science. I have an easy decision. I jammed all in, and my opponent didn't need that long before calling. We decided to run it twice, so we ran everything twice. And yes, the board runs out very clean. That means I scoop the very first hand, and it's a good one. Four players limp to me, and I'm in the small blind looking down at ace, king, queen, jack, 10 trip suit. I raised up to 35, and I got 3 callers, so 4 ways to the flop, which is king, jack, 8, two-toned. Unfortunately, I do not have the flush draw, so I'm gonna pot control here, and I decided to check it, and it checked all around. The turn is the jack, so I have a boat now, and sure, someone can have kings, but I don't think it's the time to see monsters under the bed. So yes, I bet 50. Only one player called, and he is only 150 behind. So yeah, not much of a decision on the river, which is a blank. It's a 4. And yes, I just jammed all in, and he took his time before paying me off. He called, and I scooped another small one.
For me, peppermint tea. Yes.
You're on 2-5, no limit order, starting on table number 44, please. Opening new cash game table, one limit of 5-5 with 0.300 euro, please all players From the waiting list, take your seats, table 47, on the middle 55, starting now.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Pass. Oh. Pass.
In this hand, we play 5-5-10 5-card Omaha, and there is a $25 button straddle. I'm in the small blind, and I look down at Ace King 10-9-7 double suited. A great hand, I would say. And I open raise to 100, so in this game we rounded up. And one player called in middle position, and then one player decided to raise it up to 300, which the button player decided to call. I called, and the middle position player called as well. So we have already 1200 in the middle, with only 910 remaining in my stack. And the flop comes 8-3 deuce with 2 hearts, giving me a nut flush draw, as well as a backdoor straight draw and some overcards. And yeah, I decide to just go all in. I mean, the two greatest scenarios would be if everyone folds or everyone calls for this hand. But yeah, the middle position player decides to fold. The cutoff after a long tank decides to call. And the button player eventually calls as well. So we have a pretty much like $4,000 pot in the middle. But the other two players are not yet all in. So yeah, on the turn they decide to go all in. So then we had the option to run it twice, which we agreed to. So yeah, we ran it twice. The first run, I mean, first of all, I should mention the turn maybe. That's an offsuit 9, which gives me an open-ended straight draw and a pair, so great card overall. And the river, the first one, comes a beautiful 6, so gives me the nut straight. And the next river is a deuce, unfortunately, which, yeah, does not give me the best hand. But at least I get half the pot. So, yeah, I won some maybe 800 euros in that pot, so it was one of the best pots in the trip and the biggest one for me.
What's up, guys? It's Monday afternoon right now, and the trip is in the books. We will now head back to Frankfurt. Yeah, I lost every single session. I hardly won any big pot, so I lost around 4.8k. Yeah, of course, I'm not very happy with the trip, but yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, I think that's what poker is about. My trip was very successful. I won every single session, and so I won about 3.5k all in all. And yes, we hope you enjoyed our first vlog, and in about 3 weeks we will go to Round Rock, Texas, and we will probably film there a little as well. And yes, we hope you enjoyed it, and
yeah. See you in the next video.